Castrol, the manufacturers of Castrol GTX2, a can of the best, are proud to present South Africa's premier rallying event, the 1993 Castrol International Rally. 47 cars make up the official starting list of the 1993 Castrol International Rally. 5 crews have made the journey south of the continent to contest in this, the second round of the All-African Rally Championship, including the current leader, Satbacks Singh.
Satbacks, welcome to South Africa. This is your first time here. How do you feel about driving in the Castrol Rally?
Yes, it's for my first time. Very excited, a bit nervous, but looks is a very good rally, and I think we'll take it easy and maybe we'll finish.
Now this is the third round of the African Championships. Where are you lying at this stage in that championship?
I'm leading the championship at the moment.
So this is a very important rally for you?
Correct.
This rally is important for the car because it's a new car. It's the first test for me in this car and for car in the rally. It's very test.
And your opposition, how do you see your opposition for this rally?
I don't know, because I don't know possibility of the car, because it's not possible tested in Europe. Little test yesterday in South Africa.
Well, this one is very important because it's the first event that I've done. I missed the event in Burundi, so it's very important.
So you actually need the points?
Yeah, very much so.
Seated ahead of the local entries, the international drivers head the field, led by the Audi Sport Euro team, Aldo Riva and Enrico Roveda. At exactly 9:30 on Friday, the 21st of May, Aldo guides his newly built and almost untested Audi Coupe S2 from the starting ramp. The streets of Ermelo make up stage 1, an 11-kilometer sprint through the town and surrounding countryside. Second on the road, wearing number 2 on the doors of his Toyota Celica GT, is Zimbabwe's Billy Rothenbach, in action here with Surinda Tati navigating. Having driven in the 1992 Castrol Rally, this crew, like the Italians, are all well aware of the local conditions and local competition. Car number 3, the Subaru Legacy, crewed by Hasmat Sanji and Peter Stone. Satbacks Singh and Richard Leake in the handsome Toyota Celica Turbo 4x4. Heading the local entry in 5th place overall are current South African Championship leaders Serge Damso and Vito Bonafide. With 2 wins on the Castrol in a row, Serge and Vito must be the odds-on favourites for the event. Behind them, in the first of 2 Nissan Motorsport Sentras, Hannes Grobler and Douglas Judd. Ford's only hope of success in the Castrol Rally, and driving the Sasol Ford Laser, the legendary Sarel van der Merwe and Frans Boshoff. Behind them, talent like Nick de Waal, Jannie Habach and Enzo Kuhn, all in with a good chance. Away from Ermelo and into the forest stages near Piet Retief, where the rally starts in earnest with the dry, harsh South African conditions. The local boys are quick to turn on the pressure, led by Hannes Grobler and Douglas Judd, who win stages 1 and 2, and seen here about to win stage 3. Sarel van der Merwe and Frans Boshoff are quick to show their intentions, holding 2nd place after 2 stages in the Sasol Laser. Choosing to drive on the pace notes, which are a form of internationally accepted navigational notes, has an obvious advantage for the leading Class A locals, who now dominate the top 10 placings. But the pace up front soon takes its toll when firstly the Ford Laser's motor blows. Billy Rothenbach then retired with a broken gearbox in the same stage, followed closely by the rally leaders Hannes Grobler and Douglas Judd, who suffered engine failure.
It's a big disappointment for us. We were leading the rally, and I think up to that stage we were winning all the stages. And the engine just died on us on that stage, and we really don't know what happened, but I think it's the same as in the previous rallies. But the car was going very, very well. I was very happy with the car.
With 2 of the leading cars out, Serge Damso and Vito Bonafide are quick to respond, winning stages 4 and 5 convincingly. Nissan's Nick Duval and Guy Hodgson driving on pace notes and quick to respond to the newly created challenge up front. Due to be retired from active service after this event, the crew have a lot to prove. The privately entered VW Golf Synchro of Yanni Havek, with navigator Pete Swanepoel temporarily out of retirement to replace the still injured Martin Buerta. With the first scheduled regroup looming, the cars work their way to the small town of Amsterdam for a 2-hour break and a sample of some local hospitality. The Audi still leads on the road, but it's the Toyota of Serge Damso that leads on the scoreboard. Surviving Group A cars allow the locals to go unchallenged, most unable to match the sprinting pace up front. Having had a slow start over the first 3 stages, Serge and Vito found their form on stage 4 and have not looked back.
For us, it's going very well. We've had a clean run, except the last stage we had a little bit of a misfire, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. And we took it quite easy in the beginning and paced ourselves, and it seems to have paid.
Nick, the responsibility for Nissan lying fairly and squarely on your shoulders now that Hannes is out.
Yes, it's a pity that Hannes is out, but it's just as well that Nissan entered both cars still in this event. So yes, I've got the responsibility and I plan to keep it up.
Nick and Guy have opted for the pace note form of navigation, which we can experience with them on part of stage 8.
100, long, easy right, tightens. Sharp right. That's a sharp right. Medium left over crest and sharp right. And 50, medium right. And turn off medium left. 50, sharp left. Sharp left. 300. T-junction, turn hairpin right. 200, T right, hairpin right. 100, hairpin right. 400.
Unfortunately for the crew and for Nissan, this was to be the last stage in which Nick and Guy would compete under full power. Stage 9 claimed the second Sentra with similar engine problems as suffered by their teammates Hannes Frobler and Douglas Judd. A sad but dignified end for this team. With the South African section of the event now completed, the Castrol International Rally crosses the Swaziland border at the Nurston post, where, under the blanket of darkness, 5 more forest stages await the competitors. Clerk of the course, Dieter Koch, has changed the format of the Castrol Rally this year, and instead of driving through the night, the crews now enjoy a break before starting day 2. The remaining 5 night stages are critical for the surviving crews, as Serge Damso is only too aware. With the Nissan having retired and Yanni Havek suffering a series of niggling faults, Toyota soon find their second Class A car of Enzo Kuhn and Johan Seeling behind teammate Serge Damso on the scoreboard. Havek and Swanepoel hang on to 3rd place ahead of the Northern Transvaal team of Peter Baragwanath and Charles Rieler. Having made up time after swamping their motor, Riva and Roverda moved from 10th to 5th place in just 5 stages. With dawn about to break at the early morning start, we asked Serge Damso if he was happy with his performance.
Yeah, we got a 3.5 minutes lead, which we'll try and maintain today. And if everything goes all right, we shouldn't have a problem.
Now you got Enzo behind you. Are there any team orders?
Well, I'm not too sure yet, but we'll see today what happens on stages. We have to tell.
But you will work together.
Well, that's our idea, you know, to get a first and second. That's what we want.
As Serge and Vito clocked out at the Parc Ferme, many felt that the Castrol Rally had already reached its conclusion. This despite some fierce competition and 2 full days of rallying ahead. Day 2 consists of 16 stages in the Usutu forests of western Swaziland. The road surfaces make for excellent rallying conditions, and Serge sets about exploiting them. Acting wingman to the leading team, Enzo and Johan keep up the pace, determined to keep their 7 minutes and 2nd position secure. With Havek's Golf under repair, Baragwanath and Rieler take up 3rd spot on the road. minute and 45 seconds behind Peter Baragwanath, the Audi still sounding strong. His approach to the splash, however, a disappointment for the crowd. Seemingly slow, but ever consistent, the efforts of Satvan Singh in the turbo-powered Celica, keeping the team in 6th place overall. Picking up penalties for lateness, Habak overdoes things in this stage, damaging the rear suspension and adding to his frustrations. Yanni goes on to win 4 of the first 8 stages, but the morning session belongs to Serge and Vito, who we join in car for a ride on stage 18. Looking down the field to 8th place, where Chart van der Walt leads Class D from Terry Brand by almost 2 minutes. The Natal team of Tony Ball and Tony Babb unchallenged in Class B, but they retire in the very next stage after rolling their Golf. Doing extremely well in the X-Factory Golf Synchro are Eliseo Miranda with Tony Villaca Thomas navigating. In 10th place and leading Class C, the husband and wife team of Skalk and Sue Berger. Terry Brand and Jeff Tyra chasing Class D honours. Etienne Lawrence and Robert Paisley going extremely well despite this overshoot on stage 18. Working their way back from the forests to the Ezelwini Valley for a regroup and well-earned break, Serge and Enzo have survived the first 8 stages without incident and, by all accounts, have the 22nd Castrol International Rally in the bag. But the rally has only just reached the halfway mark, with 17 tough stages still remaining. In 3rd place, the Italians are scoring consistent stage times, and behind them, a very determined Yanni Habak has started to make a charge from his lowly 8th place on the scoreboard. Can Habak pull off this Castrol? Don't go away, because we'll be back with more Castrol Rally action. Using every second of the allowed service time in an effort to get the synchro shipshape. A new gearbox replaces the old in an effort to keep the Golf competitive for the 8 remaining stages of day 2. Before re-entering the forests, the competitors tackle a stage in the pineapple fields on the banks of the Usutu River. With the Toyotas out in front and the Audi in a comfortable 3rd spot, the scoreboard action looks to the fight for 4th place. Satvan Singh and Richard Leake currently hold 4th position in the 4-wheel drive Toyota Celica. On the same minute, but 30 seconds behind the Toyota, Chart van der Walt and Jaco van der Linde attack that gap with obvious determination. Skalk and Sue Berger are also in the fray, with only a minute separating them from the Class D Golf. Eliseo Miranda has steadily worked the Golf Synchro up the scoreboard, while its sister car, now in the hands of Yanni Habak, continues to charge. Habak winning this stage ahead of Enzo Kuhn and Serge Damso in their conquests. Well behind on time, but still part of the action, Peter Baragwanath keeps the Nissan Sentra in 9th place overall. Lawrence and Paisley filling 10th spot in the Class C Conquest RSI. As the sun sets on the second day of the 1993 Castrol International Rally, very little has changed, the domination by Toyota continues as the event looks more and more like a one-horse race. But despite this, the Toyota dedication continues from stage to stage, the two conquests never lacking attention. The Audi team have settled into their third-place slot, realizing that full points for the African Championship are safe for the moment, and chasing the Toyotas would be impossible. On a long 36-kilometre stage, disaster strikes. Stuck in the darkness of the Usutu forests, Serge Damso and Vito Bonafide failed to emerge from the section. Enzo and Johan arrive for their service, and as the time ticks by, become the new leaders of the Castrol Rally. Serge gets the conquest out. 20 minutes have elapsed, and the crew are now well down on the scoreboard. The injection system is repaired, and the team continue, but are later excluded from the event for having received outside assistance in getting fuel to the car and the car out of the stage. On the last stage of the day, Enzo slides off the road and is unable to continue, eventually time-barred out of the rally.
Can you relay a message? Anthony's on his way towards you now, Nick. And Enzo? Stuck in the mud. Can't start the engine, and now, obviously, with the lights on, the battery's gone flat. He can't start it at all now.
So, major disappointment for Toyota as both cars remain alone in the Parc Ferme on dawn of the third and final day of the event. Aldo Riva and Enrico Raveda now lead the Castrol Rally ahead of Habach and Swanepoel as the cars head east for the sugarcane fields around Mshlume.
Roberto, you must be very pleased to have your car in first place. How do you see the rally going from here?
Oh, I just crossed my finger because it's a long way again to do, and we have some very long stage, 140k stage, so just wait and see, yes.
Habach makes a minute on the first stage of the day, but early morning mist over the cane fields suits the Audi and the pace notes they're working on. Just a few stages later, and the gap widens once again.
Well, we're about 6 minutes behind the chap in front of us, and on this last stage we've just managed to take off almost a minute, so we'll push it for another 3 or 4 stages, and if nothing goes wrong we might make it.
Now they're going for the African Championship. You obviously want a Castrol victory, because you obviously score points in the South African Championship for that. Does that play any part in this?
Not really. You know, the real objective is obviously to win, and that's what we're trying to do.
The battle between Singh and Miranda continues for fourth place, the Burgers having snatched third place the previous night by just 5 seconds. Skulk and Sue take extra service time and drop back on the road and on the score charts. Slightly overdoing things in the big league and outmatched on power by the bigger cars, the Class D Golf of Tjaart van der Walt still bravely fighting off the challenges of Peter Baragwanath as the rally heads for the Mshlume Country Club Regroup. At the break, the Audi still leads Habach by roughly 9 minutes. Alicio and Tony in the second Golf Synchro have moved into third place ahead of Santwan Singh and Richard Leek. The Burgers then lead the Van der Walt Class D Golf. Habach's car is literally falling apart at the seams, and welding braces into the fractures is all that keeps the car on the road. The final Parc Ferme control for the final time. The Italian Audi team have just 5 stages to finish, and in so doing will become the first complete overseas team to win the Castrol Rally. Peter Baragwanath caused a few anxious moments for the spectators on stage 35 when he chose the wrong side of the canal. Most jumped for cover, but others found the incident most amusing. Yanni Habek's Golf was not the only car needing attention along the road. Skalkberger was finding the going tough with both suspension and gearbox problems. The only car that hardly saw the angry side of a spanner was the Audi Coupe S2. Besides fuel and the odd body repair, the car growled around the stages without showing any fatigue. And it was that steady strength that saw the car through to the final stage of the 1993 Castrol International Rally. Battered, but there in his hard-fought second place, Yanni Habek and Piet Swanepoel taking full points for the South African Rally Championship. Eliseo held off Satvan by a slim 15 seconds, taking third place in an event that had become an all-privateer affair among the surviving South African entries. As the Audi Sport Europa team completed the final stage, we spoke to team manager Roberto Gramignani.
Last year was a good rally. This year I think is a perfect rally. And I really astonished because in Europe, many of the World Championship events are not so well organized. So I must congratulate also the organizers, the marshals and everybody. We are really very happy because we catch points for Group A. I told you before, our goal is Group A, but we could also win. So it's a very, very nice day for us.
The final results speak volumes for those who managed to keep their names on the list. A truly enduring event that saw the big guns fall by the wayside and the privateers shine through. The 1993 Castrol International Rally was brought to you by Castrol, manufacturers of Castrol GTX2 at Can of the Best.